Hello everyone. So today we are going to work on a hailstorm particle system in Unreal Engine. So this is the video that I'm referencing. Yeah, so if you're not familiar with what hail is, it's just big chunks of ice or snow fall down, and when they hit the ground they breaks up into smaller pieces. So this is the this is what you would have at the end of this episode after following the tutorial. So we are going to create this hailstorm effect from scratch. So as you can see here, bigger chunks of snowballs ice falls down, and as they hit the ground they breaks up and they create more smaller particles or smaller ice chunks. So yeah, we will look into how to create event handlers, especially when the ice falls down hit the ground, and using that event handler we will be creating a smaller particle effect that spawns on the hit location the smaller ice chunks. So yeah, let's see how to do this today. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you, you will be able to download the project files of this project, and also you can download anything that I have worked on in my channel from the Patreon page. Link would be in the description below. To the date there are over 1800 videos, so for each video project file is accessible, so feel free to check it out. And let's get back to today's tutorial. Alright, so I'm gonna select the third person template to get started with and create a project. Okay, so now this is the level. Let's create for the effects and create a new Niagara system. New system from selected emitters. I'll choose, what should I choose? Let's choose this fountain and finish. Let's call it NS Hail. Now if I open this, this is what we have. So if I place it, this is obviously what we get. So I'll go here, instead of this sphere save location I'll make it a box or a plane and transform. So let's make this, let's see here. Okay, let's make the dimensions 1000 by 1000. This is the area now we get, but not enough to cover the entire area, so I'll make it 2000 by 2000. Okay, that's still not good. We place in the middle, then I'll make it 3000 by 3000. So obviously you can use whatever the value you want. This is just for the demonstration purposes. Okay, now we got, but this is not where I need them to spawn, so it would be better if they are spawned above me like this. And also now they are not falling down because the lifetime is not enough, so I'll make the lifetime 10, something like I don't think it would take 10 seconds to fall. Let's try something like 4 to 6. Okay, now they do fall, and we don't really need this initial upward velocity. So well, in fact it would be better if it is a downward velocity. So let's do this and make it, let's see how it looks. Yeah, this is fine. and we already have gravity force. Good. So now here I'll set the cone angle to 60, so we have some variation in the falling directions. So the next thing is, let's enable collisions. So it will bounce off. So it starts to look like hair, but they're bouncing too high. So I'll make it, let's see, under restitution. What if I reduce this like 0.3? So now they don't bounce off that high. Can we make this random? Oh wait, there is a built-in option to randomize collision normal. Okay, let's enable this. So now it's going in various different directions, but I feel like we don't have enough bouncing, so let's try 4. Okay, and once it start bouncing, here we have an option to advance aging rate. Let's try it like 2, so that it should destroy quickly after one bounce. Not enough. Let's try 4. It doesn't look like it has any impact. Well, let's enable this. Let's set max number of collisions to 2. Okay, so now this is this looks basic. So now what I want to do is, once it hit, instead of making it bounce, I would like it to have a couple more particles, so that it looks like it's breaking up into smaller chunks of ice. So to do that, we can use collision events. So here, wait, one more thing. So this is this is a simulation target is CPU simulation. So that means we can generate collision events, but we can't have a lot of particles in this way. So therefore I'll CPU, I'll rename this as CPU emitter, and then I'll make a duplicate and rename this as GPU emitter before I make collision events, because we can have a lot more particles with the GPU emitter with minimum performance impact like this. But if I want to implement a collision event, then we do need CPU emitter. So here, for now I'll keep it down. Well, for now I'll just disable this altogether, so that it's easier for us to see the collision event. Okay, so for the collision event, first I'll add generate collision events, and we don't need to change anything here, but we do get an error. Before the particles ID parameter can be used, requires persistent IDs. So here, properties requires persistent IDs, enable that. Now you don't have the error anymore. Okay, now I'll duplicate the same emitter, and then I'll remove this collision event. I'll just delete it. and also I'll disable collision as well. So this here I'll disable the spawn rate, because that's not the way I want to spawn these particles. They should be generated based on collision event. So here let's add an event handler, and to make it easier for me to identify, I'll make it red, this color, so that here we don't see them in that color. But if I enable the spawn rate, you will start seeing them, but they are spawned in the sky just like the other particle emitter. So as I said, that's not the way I want to spawn them. So under here I'll add execution mode to spawn particles, and spawn number I'll set to 3. Well, let's make random spawn number, so 3 and 1. Right, now still you don't see them spawned. So under this I'll add receive collision event, and also we need to select which collision event that we need to handle. So here I'll set collision event. Alright, now we got some more options. Position is applied, normal is applied. Okay, so here you see those particles are spawned, but they are falling off the ground. That's because we have this velocity. So I'll now make this, well, actually we might not need this. Here we can, let's apply the velocity vector and reflect at velocity along collision normal. I'll make it 1 and randomize velocity direction around collision. This is also I would like to enable. Let's make it also it's Boolean, so let's make it 1. Okay, so now as you can see, this pink colored particles are generated on the locations these white particles hit, collide. So okay, so that means the particles are generated in hit locations. So obviously those particles should be smaller compared to the particles that we get. So I'll make it smaller like this, and it looks like they are like only one particle is generated every time a collision event happens, even though I have spawn number as 3. So here, okay, let's add a velocity on the horizontal plane with some randomization and see if we can see some change. Here, linear velocity random range vector. Okay, minus 100 minus 100 plus 100 plus 100. Nothing. Oh yeah, see, now it looks like we have multiple collisions. Multiple particles are spawned on the hit locations. Let's change it like this: minus 1 minus 1 plus 1 plus 1 0. This, let's say 100. Okay, and as for the hit velocity, I think it would be better if these ice particles fall down a little faster. Let's look at the, yeah, they do come more faster than what we get. So we can control it here and initialize particle, sorry, and add velocity here. Let's try like 1000, 1300. Okay, now if I look up, there looks like just spawning right there. So let's move up this a little bit. Higher, so we have enough distance. Okay, that looks better. Great. Now if I enable the other emitter also, we would see a lot more action going on compared to what we had before. And also we can increase the spawn rate of the GPU emitter to a higher level, so we can get more. But the next thing I want to work on is, I think it would be better closer to the end of the lifetime of these particles if we make the particle smaller. So we can do that like this. Scale sprite size, and I'll choose something like this, and I'll apply. So this is based on normalized edge. Let me copy this module and paste to other 3 emitters as well. Okay. Oh, I think I should enable collisions for the smaller ones, or maybe not. Maybe I'll make their lifetime much smaller. 0.5 to 0.8. Okay, now that I feel like restitution is too much, so here let's reduce it to 0.2, and I'll change the color of these event spawned particles back to white. Okay, finally let's work a little bit on the snow particle itself. So here I have this particle which has different types of this texture, which has different types of snowflakes, and the default material is this. It's in engine, so I'll duplicate this material into my project, copy, and snow, open it. So here I'll add a sub UV, particle sub UV, right? So that texture is already selected because I had selected it here. And now opacity, I'll multiply that with the alpha of this, and then the color also, let's multiply right with this color, apply, and then let's apply this material. So now you would see, we see an array of snowflakes instead of one. So here we have, this is a 4x4 spreadsheet, so we can set sub-UV 4x4, and in the initialize sub-UV animation, set it to linear, and end frame I'll set it to 16 because we have a 4x4, and sprite renderer should be selected here. Okay, now one emitter should be fixed but not all of them. So what we have to do is we have to do this, repeat the same thing for these emitters as well. 4x4, and I'll connect the sub-UV, copy the sub-UV animation here. Okay, why am I not seeing? Oh, they are transparent, too transparent. Okay, all right, maybe we don't need to multiply. Let's connect this. Yeah, now it looks better. What else we can do? Should we align them to velocity? Facing mode. Now let's just try the velocity, but this is only important if they get longer along the moving direction. But let's just see. Okay, it looks a bit better, I think. All right, well, I noticed the spawn particles from the event is not visible anymore, so I changed the color. So that's true. What went wrong? Oh no, it seems fine actually, but I think it would be better here. We have at velocity, maybe let's try this. Yeah, it should be good. Okay, let me change the color back. Here for the I change this to 6 and 3, and here, what's the scale of the original one? 612. Okay, I thought I already decreased this. Anyway, 4 2 to 4 2 to 6, or maybe 4 to 6. Okay, I think that's better. All right, so if I play, this is how it looks, the hailstorm we created. Okay, so here is the final version. I just edited the lighting level a little bit so that we can clearly see the final result. And I'm gonna stop this episode right here. So thanks for watching. Updated project files will be available for download in the Patreon page. Link would be in the description below. And see you in the another episode. Feel free to let me know what you guys think about this system in the comments below. Goodbye.